Ever walk into a room and totally forget why you went in there? Or maybe you're telling a story to your family and suddenly, poof, you've got no clue where you left off. Little moments like that sneak in quietly. They don't hurt, they're not super obvious, but they're just unsettling enough to make us wonder, is my memory starting to slip away? Most folks figure it's just part of getting old. Like memory loss is something we've all got to just accept, right? Well, not exactly. Science today says otherwise. There are folks in their 70s and 80s who still remember names, tiny details from years ago, and keep their thoughts sharp as ever. And no, they're not relying on pricey prescription meds. They're simply sticking to a few easy daily habits that research from places like Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and Tufts has shown really work. In today's video, you'll discover 7 everyday habits that act like natural brain boosters. They can wake up your memory, slow down brain aging, and help you feel mentally clear, maybe even sharper than before. Before we dive into the details, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss more helpful videos made just for staying sharp and healthy as we age. This is where we grow older, stronger, and more clear-headed one day at a time. It doesn't matter how old you are or where your memory stands right now. What matters is that you can start today with the smallest steps. Habit number 1, train your brain like you train your muscles. Picture this. It's a quiet morning at home. You're about to make some tea, but halfway through, you stop. You're not sure if you already poured the hot water into the kettle. You glance around, still holding the spoon, and your memory feels like a thin mist. Try to grab it, and it's gone. Sound familiar? A lot of people believe memory loss is just a natural part of aging, but that's not entirely true. Just like your muscles weaken without regular exercise, your brain can slow down if you don't challenge it often. The good news is that a little bit of brain work each day can keep your mind sharp and clear at any age. Scientists call it neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections, repair weak areas, and keep learning new things. And no, you don't need a lab or fancy supplements to tap into this power. All it takes is giving your brain a little challenge every day. Try solving a quick puzzle, memorize your grocery list, learn how to use a new phone app, or just sit down and try to remember the names of your high school classmates. A study from Harvard University showed that older adults who spend just 15 to 30 minutes a day on brain-stimulating activities improve their memory and processing speed by up to 30% after just 8 weeks. No coding classes, no pricey courses, just start small and keep at it. Think of your brain like a garden. If you don't plant new seeds or water it regularly, it'll dry out and grow wild. But if you sow just one seed each day, a new word, a positive thought, a mindful action, your garden will start to bloom again, full of life, color, and energy. And remember, you're not training for competition, you're training to live more fully day by day. Because a strong memory isn't just about remembering names or tasks. A strong memory reminds you that life is still beautiful and you still have every reason to enjoy it with a clear and present mind. Habit number 2, move your body to wake up your memory. Have you ever noticed that after a walk in the park or just a few minutes stretching in the morning sun, your mind feels clearer, more at ease, and suddenly you remember something you thought you'd forgotten? That's no coincidence. That's your memory waking up through movement. Science has proven that the brain and the body work hand in hand. When you move, your heart rate picks up, blood flow improves, and more oxygen and nutrients are delivered to the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for storing and processing memories. This area is actually one of the first to be affected when memory starts to decline. A study published in the journal Neurology showed that older adults who exercise for at least 30 minutes a day had better memory, quicker reactions, and significantly lower risk of developing Alzheimer's. The best part is, it doesn't have to be intense. Gentle and consistent movement like walking, light dancing, Tai Chi, or stretching can make a real difference. Even more importantly, Movement doesn't just refresh the body, it lifts the spirit. When you step outside, breathe in the fresh air, look at the trees, and move your body with your breath, you activate your entire central nervous system. Feel-good hormones like endorphins and dopamine are released, helping you feel calm, happy, and mentally sharp. If you're not used to being active, don't worry. Start slow. Walk around your yard, put on your favorite song, and move your arms a little. Or just stand up and sit down from a chair a few times a day. Every movement, no matter how small, is a reminder that your body's alive, still flexible, and that there are still many beautiful things worth remembering and living for. Memory doesn't just live in the folds of your brain, it lives in every step you take, every stretch you make, every conscious breath you draw in today. Habit 3, sleep well to remember better. There are mornings when you wake up and your mind feels cloudy, like the early fog hasn't cleared yet. Everything around you seems familiar, but your memory feels like it's wandered off. You look at the clock, then forget what you were about to do. You read a few lines of a newspaper, then suddenly can't remember a single sentence. This happens to many people, and often the cause isn't memory itself, but something that seems very simple: sleep. When we sleep, the brain doesn't actually rest the way we might think. Instead, it begins to work quietly in a way that's deeply important. During the deeper stages of sleep, the brain sorts, processes, and stores memories from the day. It's like a librarian carefully returning each book to its shelf in your memory library. If you don't sleep enough, or your sleep is too light or interrupted, this process is disrupted. The next day, your mind may feel foggy, your focus weak, and your memory less reliable. A study from the American Academy of Sleep Medicine found that people over 60 who sleep 7 to 8 hours per night are up to 35% better at remembering and learning new things compared to those who sleep less than 5 hours. Quality sleep also helps regulate your emotions, reduce stress, and lower your risk of neurodegenerative diseases. To get better sleep, you don't need pills or a complete lifestyle change. Just create a simple evening routine. Turn off the TV and your phone at least 30 minutes before going to bed. Keep your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. Drink a warm cup of chamomile tea, read a few pages from a gentle book, or take a few slow, deep breaths to calm your mind. Think of sleep as a gift you give yourself every night. A night of deep, restful sleep doesn't just help you feel alert the next day. It's one of the best ways to protect what matters most: your memories, your knowledge, and the precious relationships you want to hold on to forever. Habit 4. Nourish your memory from within with nutrition. Your memory isn't only shaped by what you do each day, it's also deeply influenced by what you put into your body. Though the brain makes up just about 2% of your total body weight, it uses up to 20% of your daily energy from food. And just like a finely tuned machine, it needs high-quality, precise fuel to run smoothly, steadily, and for the long haul. Think about how you feel after a heavy meal loaded with refined carbs and sugar. You might feel sluggish, unfocused, maybe even sleepy. But after a lighter meal with leafy greens, salmon, walnuts, or a warm cup of tea, your mind likely feels clearer and more at ease. That's no coincidence. Every bite you take directly affects how your brain functions. Modern research has shown that certain nutrients are especially important for memory, especially as we age. Omega-3 fatty acids are one of the most well-known, yet often overlooked. In particular, DHA plays a critical role in building brain cell structure and protecting neurons from inflammation and degeneration. People with diets rich in omega-3s tend to have a larger and more active hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for memory. Vitamin B12 and folate are also essential. A lack of B12 doesn't just make you feel tired, it can also affect your ability to focus and remember. B12 is found in fish, eggs, yogurt, and lean meats, But as we age, our ability to absorb it declines, so regular checkups and proper supplementation may be needed. Magnesium, choline, vitamin E, and trace minerals like zinc, selenium, and iron work like behind-the-scenes crew members. They help maintain the speed of signals between brain cells, protect blood vessels in the brain, and reduce oxidative stress, one of the leading causes of age-related memory loss. You don't need to follow a strict or complicated diet. Just prioritize whole, fresh, colorful foods. Start small. Swap processed snacks for a handful of walnuts. Use olive oil instead of industrial seed oils. Add more greens to your meals. And if possible, try to eat fatty fish like salmon or sardines twice a week. Your memory, like the rest of your body, can't grow strong on an empty foundation. Think of each meal as a chance to nourish your mind, to fuel your brain cells, and to give your precious memories a strong and lasting place to stay. Habit 5. Calm your brain by managing silent inflammation. Sometimes forgetfulness doesn't come from mental fatigue or distraction. It comes from something quieter and more persistent. Inflammation. Not the kind you notice when you have a fever or a sore joint, but a low-level chronic kind that lingers silently in your body. Scientists call it silent inflammation or low-grade chronic inflammation, and it may be one of the hidden culprits slowly chipping away at your memory. This kind of inflammation is like a small flame burning quietly in the brain and nervous tissue. It doesn't cause sharp pain, but over time it damages neurons, disrupts signal transmission between different parts of the brain, and affects both your memory and your ability to learn. A study from Tufts University found that older adults with higher inflammation levels experience memory loss 3 times faster than those with lower inflammation levels, even when their diets and activity levels were similar. The good news is that you can calm that fire, and the answer isn't found in pills, but in small daily habits. A deep night's sleep can reduce inflammation markers by up to 40%. Simply going to bed on time, keeping your bedroom quiet, and cutting out blue light before sleep is already a big step forward. Nutrition plays a powerful role too. Foods rich in antioxidants like berries, green tea, dark leafy greens, turmeric, and fatty fish help protect brain cells and soothe the internal fire. Omega-3 fatty acids from salmon, mackerel, or flaxseed oil act as a natural anti-inflammatory shield for your brain. Gentle daily movement also helps regulate inflammation. You don't need intense workouts. A calm walk, a few slow stretches, or some deep breathing exercises each morning can help balance the immune system, relax your nervous system, and release built-up tension. And don't forget to care for your gut. Many inflammatory responses in the body begin there. Eating fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, or sauerkraut, and adding a variety of fiber-rich vegetables to your meals helps nourish your gut microbiome and lightens the burden on your brain. Caring for your memory isn't just about remembering more. It's about creating a peaceful inner space where your mind can rest and recover. Because in a body that's tense, inflamed, or out of balance, memory can't flourish. But in a body that's calm and well cared for, memory not only returns, it grows stronger day by day. Habit 6. Stay socially connected to keep your mind bright. There are days when you've eaten well, slept soundly, and stayed active, yet still feel a quiet emptiness deep inside. A kind of silence that no delicious meal can fill. A vague longing that you can't quite name. That's your mind speaking up, not from exhaustion, but from a lack of connection. We are social beings. We are born to talk, to share, to be heard and understood. When that connection is missing for too long, memory, one of the most deeply human parts of us, starts to fade. Not because it stops working, but because it stops being awakened by the vibrant interaction between people. Research from Harvard University, in a study that has lasted over 75 years, shows that people who maintain strong social ties throughout life not only live longer, but also retain clearer memories in old age. Regular communication, even in small daily conversations, helps activate parts of the brain tied to language, emotion, and cognitive response. The good news is, connection doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a morning phone call to a loved one, a walk in the park with an old friend, or a friendly chat with a neighbor over the fence. Joining a local club, a dance class, or a book group can also work wonders for your mind. You can even start with the smallest gesture. Smile and strike up a conversation with someone at the market, in a waiting room, or even with your partner at home. Every time you open up, you invite your memory to return, more alive and more vivid. Memory is not just a function of the brain, it's a matter of the heart. Because the most beautiful memories in life aren't written in books. They live in our glances, our conversations, and every hand we've ever held. When you connect, you don't just keep your mind clear, you keep your soul truly alive and full. Habit 7. Strengthen your memory with consistency and routine. In life, we often search for big, dramatic solutions to create change, when the real power lies in the small things we do every day. Memory works the same way. It doesn't thrive on flashy efforts that come and go. It needs steady, ongoing care, just like tending to a potted plant. You water it, give it sunlight, and wait patiently for it to sprout and bloom. You may have heard about memory-boosting exercises, brain-friendly foods, or cognitive training routines. But if you only try them once in a while, here and there, the benefits won't stick. Memory doesn't strengthen in a single moment. It grows through repeated, intentional, and patient effort. Scientists call this the accumulation effect. When small actions are repeated regularly, they lead to deep physiological changes in the brain. One elderly man who wrote down 3 memorable moments each morning from the day before saw major improvements in recall and focus after just a few weeks. A woman who practiced Tai Chi for only 20 minutes each afternoon found herself not only more mentally alert, but also more joyful after 3 months. The beautiful thing is, your brain doesn't care where you start. It only cares whether you keep going. Whether it's a morning walk, learning one new word a day, calling a loved one at the same time each week, or writing in a journal before bed, it's the consistency that becomes the most powerful medicine for your memory. It tells your brain, this matters. Remember this. So be gentle with yourself. You don't have to change everything in one day. But if today you choose one small thing to do and do it again tomorrow, your memory will thank you. Not with words, but with presence. When you still remember an old friend's name, the way back home, or the reason why something made you happy. Memory, like life itself, isn't measured by grand moments. It's built in each moment you live fully, in every action you carry with love and consistency. You've just discovered 7 small habits that can bring about powerful changes for your memory, clarity, and overall quality of life in your later years. Not through medicine or some far-off miracle, but through simple, repeated choices made each day. And the most amazing part is this: you can start today. Remember, you don't have to do everything. Even one small action is enough to shift the way your brain works and awaken abilities you may have thought were long gone. A short walk, a kind phone call, a good night's sleep. Sometimes it's those simple moments that grow into lasting clarity, peace, and confidence in yourself. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are still living, and there is so much good still waiting for you ahead. Treat each day as a new chance to love yourself a little more, to keep your mind bright like the early morning light, and to live fully in each moment with joy, connection, and gratitude. If this video touched your heart, please hit the subscribe button, share it with someone you care about, and leave us a comment. Where will you begin your journey? And who inspires you to live fully at this stage in life? We can't wait to hear your story. Because every older adult who is healthy, clear-minded, and joyful is a light for the generations that follow. See you again in the next video. Wishing you a peaceful, clear, and love-filled day.